Hello, this is Katie from Crafting Ruby Dreams, and welcome to my channel. I will say that time slipped away from me. Yay, ADHD. So today we are going to do a walkthrough of my Cricut Joy, and of course I get a phone call from Poland. Decline. Um, that was interesting. Anyway, today we were talking about the Cricut Joy, and I usually on my channel talk about uh, planners, goal setting, writing, publishing, and getting right with my finances. Well, I will say impulse buys, such as the Cricut Joy, was not getting right with my finances, but it was on sale. So that was my first point. Here, let me pick it up so I can show it to you with what it looks like. So this is the Cricut Joy. It's fairly simple. That's for travel when you're not using it. And this is to allow the various materials to feed back out for the cutter. Very simple cord that plugs in and out. And the basic, let me get this plugged back in. The very basic machine package is the Cricut Joy itself, the cords, and a blade cutter and a marker, because that's one of the things that it does is it writes on cards, create labels, whatever. So that is what the basic package is. Now, what I got in addition to the basic package is I got the basic tool set, I believe it's called. It's just three things. It is this scraper thing, so it's almost like a kitchen scraper. This is to help get the transfer tape stuck to the material if you're doing things like vinyl transfers, to both get the transfer tape to stick to the design as well as getting the design to stick to the actual project. Then there is the weeder, which is what this is called. And so it's got a protective little thing on it, which I hopefully will not lose, and very, very pointy. So be careful with this. And then the other thing is the spatula. So this is to help lift off any projects like vinyl. So this is a great question, Halima. So what inspired me to buy one, and what do I plan on using it for? So this is actually perfect timing because that was next on my list to talk about. So what I was inspired to do with this is the fact that I actually used to have a Cricut way back in the day, old school Cricut, where you had to buy the cartridges for the various designs to program and then choose. And so that was back before I lived in DC. And then when I moved to DC, I had to be very vicious about what I could actually bring with me. And so I gave that Cricut to my sister-in-law. It actually wasn't much bigger than this one. This is the smallest of the Cricut cutting machines currently. And so the other one that I had was the smallest one as well. And so basically what I was really interested in it for is doing things like vinyl transfer designs. So I'm going to show these off a little early, but this is my HB90 mason jar with all of the tasks that I have done so far this year. And there we go. So I put 2022 on the side, and then also, there we go, on the lid, so that I knew that this was the 2022 jar. So as I move forward, I will be putting other mason jars with years on them. And yay, welcome, Robin. Robin was actually the person why I'm doing this, because she was like, oh, you can tell me how to do this. So I am very happy that you were able to be here, Robin. So the reason I ended up getting the Cricut Joy is that I started actually thinking last year, I'm like, do I maybe make my own planner stickers? Because cutting machines like the Cricut and the Silhouette, those are the two main machines that I hear about people who are not doing stickers on an industrial level. those are the two machines that I most frequently hear them using. I actually am not sure if there's any others. But I was thinking like maybe I want a Silhouette, maybe I want a Cricut. That would what to do. My sister-in-law, the one who I gave my previous Cricut to, she actually, I was getting together with her and one of our other sister-in-law, and she had just gotten one of the big Cricuts. I don't know which one exactly, but one of the big ones. And it was like a crafting time. So I got to play with that a little bit. I had actually also seen a couple of videos in Wild University's library about how to use your cutting machine. So it was like, okay, well, I know how to do this. I've seen a video about how to do this. So I was just kind of, so I really kept coming back to vinyl and cutting vinyl and like labeling things and putting labels of sorts onto various things. And so the other reason, honestly, is the fact that doing things like this is faster than knitting. I love knitting, but sometimes you want the quick, quote unquote, quick fix of a project and having a completed project. So knitting generally is not going to be fast for me, kind of like writing. Writing is not a fast craft either. So I wanted the endorphin, serotonin, dopamine, whatever actually is brain chemicals produced of having something finished. So this was a quick finish project tool in toy. So some other things that you can do with a Cricut Joy or any Cricut machine, but the Cricut Joy I think is specifically intended for things like creating cards. And so if you want to do cutout designs on cards, you can also create, like I said, vinyl shapes in words. You can create iron-on designs. I have a whole list here so I don't forget. So you can create iron-on designs for things like tote bags or t-shirts. This is a sneak preview of a t-shirt coming from MäksēLife. It's fun. And t-shirts, basically anything you can do an iron-on design. And Cricut actually also sells a heat press machine besides like good old school iron. You can also get this fancy heat press machine. So I think that's more to like create like an even press across the entire design. Oh, very interesting, Rob. I see people creating cash stuffing envelopes with them. That's another good point. And I do have, if I wanted to, I have a laminator. That would be another thing. So that's a great point. And then also, like I said earlier, cutting stickers for your planner if you're into that. Right now, even though that is kind of one of the things I was thinking about, I'm probably not going to dive into the how-tos of doing that at this point. I'm leaving open the option, but it's like, because you can buy preset designs with cutting instructions from Etsy and everything. So I might in the future, but for right now, I'm just going to focus on things like vinyl. So what have I already made with this? So I showed you the HB90 jar. I have also, so I got this Wild University for being a junior, third year annual pass member, essentially. So I got this, and I realized I was going to want to take this with me to go wild, and a lot of other people would probably be bringing this. And so I wanted to make sure everybody knew this was mine. So I put my name on it. And I really like the way this turned out and the fact that I was able to find a really nice, fun purple. Okay, quick question from Halima. No questions are silly, believe me. For printing stickers, do you need a printer and a Cricut? I would say yes. That is my expectation. From what I can see when I watch people on YouTube who do their own cutting, whether it's with a Cricut, a Silhouette, or a different, more industrial machine, they generally are printing them out on a separate printer. So I think a printer, in addition to a thing like Cricut, would be required. However, like I said, that you can put a pen in the Cricut Joy and it will draw stuff. I just don't think it would actually, unless it was like a simple line drawing. I don't think it would, like, you can do something like a more intricate design, like even probably like a multicolored design probably wouldn't turn out well. So I think printing would be your better option with that. But good question. Like I said, not a silly question, because there's some stuff that I'm like, well, I need the basics. So yeah, so some other things that I did. This is actually because of Wild University. They had like a craft along Zoom a couple of weeks ago, and it was just getting a simple little craft pumpkin from Michael's. So this is the one I picked up, and I actually did this the week after the Zoom because I wasn't going to be at Michael's before then, and I was actually going to be by one later. So I was like, oh, I like this. So I picked up this craft pumpkin and I created this. So, and this font was provided by Wild for Planner, so it was really cool. And yeah, so I had fun playing with multiple sizings to create a layered effect. And as you can see, it's like it's kind of peeling off. It's not the smoothest application, but it's still fun. It just sits outside the entry to my apartment door because we have little trays out there. And so I have that. And then I also have this. And I bought this. So this font was also part of what Wild University gave us for that crafting Zoom. And then this Raven cutout, because this is also a vinyl. I bought this as part of a pack off of Etsy. So I'll get into that a little later. But yeah, so I thought this is fun, and I put things like Skittles. That I filled this up yesterday, and it's already almost gone. So my neighbors like me. So, and then the other thing, very specifically planner related, is, so here's my Hobonichi, which is what I did a couple weeks ago. And then I also got this Salty Kitty Co cover, and then I made this. And it's an opalescent vinyl that I just thought was really fun. And I made this design in Canva. So that's something else I'm going to show you as part of this, because with Cricut machines, they have a thing called Cricut Access, which will, I think it's for about $10 a month. And here, let me go ahead and hide this because, so Cricut Access, I think it's about $10 a month, and it gives you access to lots of fonts, lots of designs, lots of preset projects. So there is a lot of stuff available to you. It also gives you a discount. I personally didn't want to pay $10 a month because I wasn't sure if I was like a heavy user, that is something I would consider. But they do have free fonts within the Cricut design space, and which is the app that you'll use. And that app is available for, I have it on both my MacBook and my desktop Mac. I believe it's also available for Windows, and I also have it on my iPhone. So that's what you use to talk to the Cricut. This is Bluetooth. So this is connected by Bluetooth. This cord is just the power cord. Otherwise, it's all over the air from the computer to the Cricut. So, so yeah, you can pay $10 a month for this Cricut Design Access. It's not required. Apparently there was some blowback. I remember hearing about last year about possibly you require, like kind of with the Peloton, that's a whole other issue. But so you can not pay for the app and still use the machine. I just want to make that clear. You can also buy fonts on your own and upload them to your system and have access to them on your as system fonts in the Cricut. And I'll show you again how you can do that. You can also add image files. So like I said, the Raven was an image that I purchased off of Etsy as a part of the pack. And you can upload, I uploaded this to the Cricut app and was able to use it fine. You do need to use what is known as an SVG file. Let me just go ahead and type that in so that, see if it actually goes. So it's SVG, so as opposed to like a PNG, GIF, all of those other types of image files, you want to use the SVG. So the particular image pack that I bought with the Raven provided me with multiple image types, and I originally like uploaded like I think a JPEG or a PNG, I forget which, and they didn't quite work. And so I was trying to figure out, then I realized, oh wait, no, I need to use the SVG. So and that was in it. So that was useful. And then you can actually, so like I said, in Canva, that's how I created the one nameplate essentially. I saved that as an SVG file and then uploaded it to the Cricut app. It was interesting. So that is something that I will walk you through so that you can make sure everything comes out connected rather than you having to assemble it, which is how it originally was going to come out. Because that's something that a lot of people don't know, I think, when they're first using it. And it's a little trick that can be hard to figure out if you don't know somebody who already knows how to use a Cricut. So what we are going to do today, the actual project, is that I bought these disc bound covers for my, oh, gotta have it hiding behind me. So I've got my HB90. This is the goals planner that I have in here. And so I realized I want to hold on to this through next year and next few years so I can see and track and have this available for informational purposes. But I want to use this cover for the future years. So I'm going to have to take all of this out. But like I said, I want to hold on to it. So I bought these letter-sized disc covers off of Amazon, and I wanted to make sure, besides the cover page, I also wanted to like put a vinyl year note on it. So I will go ahead and walk you through. But so what for this, we're going to need Cricut Joy machine, power cords, so you have to have it plugged in. I need the weeder tool, so the pointy one. Maybe the spatula tool, definitely the scraper tool, and then some vinyl. And here's another tip regarding the vinyl. So they have Cricut Joy specific, that is over here. So they have Cricut Joy specific vinyl. This is in teal and has a little, you can see the white edge. That means that this can be put through the machine without a mat. And you do have to buy the mats separately. Mats can look like this. And so if you don't have like the specially designed type of vinyl specifically for the Cricut Joy, you can just get regular vinyl. Again, hiding behind me. There we are. So this is a remnant from something that I did the other day. So I could just take this and then slap it up here to put it through the machine, and that'll make it easier. So there is that. But I think what I'm going to do is just, yeah, I will go ahead and use this really fun pink so that I can just put this through the machine. And since I haven't opened this yet, I don't have, oh, I do have scissors, yay. I'm gonna quickly cut this open. So yeah, so those are kind of like your basic supplies. The other thing, I just heard this tip while I was in the Wild University thing, is that if you don't have the transfer tape, like Cricut makes branded transfer tape. I don't know if I have it in there. I don't have it in there. Here's one of the big ones. So you can cut off pieces of this to transfer designs from the project from cutting it off on here to the project. So I just bought a supply. I actually, see if I can show this. I got a lot of supplies of vinyl. So I was at Michael's when they were having a sale right after I bought the Cricut. It was on, so I got the Cricut from Target because it was on sale for $99. So they do go on sale. All of those were 50% off at Michael's. So you might want to wait until there's a sale. And then there's other types of vinyl. You can buy vinyl from wherever that's intended for like cutting machines, craft vinyl. So you don't have to buy the Cricut vinyl if it's too much. So if you're going to buy the Cricut vinyl, I would wait until it's on sale somewhere, frankly. So, and then, oh, transfer tape. So if you don't want to buy the transfer tape because it can get expensive, the tip I heard was Glad press and seal. So you just use this instead of the transfer tape to move the cut design from here to put on to here. So, all right. So you've decided on a project. At least I've decided on a project. Let me get this file out. All right. So you've decided on a project, and I decided to create the design in Canva. And so I'm going to share my screen so that, is it present? Oh, they changed. There it is. All right, share screen, yes. And I'm going to do Chrome tab of, so this is the design that I've already come up with because I was playing around the other night, and I was playing with all the various fonts. So because I have Canva Pro, I've got access to a lot of fonts through there. And then I really liked the way this looked. And then last night I had the great idea that I also wanted to have a frame around the numbers. And so I came up with this frame as well. So since this is all set and you can play around, this is a 4-inch by 2-inch custom design size on Canva. And what you want to do once you have your design all set, and I recommend keeping it as simple as possible. So there's, let's see, let me pull, what are you doing? Oh, let me frame position backward. Okay. So that I can get at the actual text. So I want to, all right, so this is the charm text. I want to show the difference between a couple of fonts types of fonts, I should say, that I would not recommend doing unless you want a specific, whoops, knock things over, type of look. The reason I'm going to suggest not doing these fonts, if I can like find a good one to show, is because of, let's see, I forget which ones are, let's see, wow. Just scrolling through all the fonts, because it tend to be like more of a script text. Nope, that is not it. Let's see, breathing, is that it? Yeah, so you can see with this breathing, it's got kind of like the brush strokes. When it goes through the Cricut, it's going to cut those out. So you're going to have to pick those out in little pieces individually. And so I liked the look of some like this, but then I realized I didn't want to actually like pick out all those little pieces. And so let me go back to charm since I'm somewhere close to it. Chewy, chunky charm. All right, so what I'm going to do is download this as an SVG file. So just hit download and then file type. PNG is always its default, but here is SVG. I'm going to save that and just download. And it's going to save to my download folder. And then what I'm going to do, let me end the share of this screen. Oh, I didn't realize that's how it looks. Excellent. So let me stop screen and then present and go back to share screen. And I'm going to choose a specific window and I'm going to go to the Cricut design space. And so this is what it looks like. Now you can see the boo. So this is what it looks like finished. And as you can see, I chose a shiny vinyl. But this is what it looks like on the design space. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And then I'm going to go to upload. And you can see the other uploads that I've already done. So this was the nameplate. These were the various options for the Raven. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. This was another thing that I got from Wild University. And I'm going to go ahead, upload image and browse. And then going to my downloads and pick through all of my freaking oh, good. It's right there at the top. So as you can see, it saved 2022.svg. I'm going to go ahead and open it. And this, here's something I forgot to do. I'm going to cancel this, quickly go back to Canva and save with a transparent background. I highly recommend remembering to do that. So download SVG. You want to save with a transparent background. So let me try that again. And go back to the Cricut design space, StreamYard so I can see. So yay, fun times. And go back to upload and I'm going to upload the image, browse, and 2022-1, open. And you can see this is now all clear. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this image. And what I'm going to do is, choose, add to canvas, and that's going to transfer it over to this. And so I want to point out here off to the side, these various layers, is that it's basic cut. So I'm going to show you, I'm not going to go ahead and do the full cut because I want it to print out exactly like I see it on the screen. But if I were to skip the step, and I'll show you what the step is, but I'm going to go ahead and make it. And we're going to do Cricut Smart for that. You can see, hopefully, on the screen that these are not together. They're cutting them individually. They're not. So I would have to take the frame and put it on the project. I would have to take one of the twos and put it on the project, put the 0. Like, no, I have it spaced and set as a design exactly as I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. And in order to make what you just saw look like this, what I need to do is select all of this and click on this weld button, which is right above the save $10 with Cricut Access. So I just hit weld. Come on. And now weld result is this basic cut with it all together. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on make it now. And I'm doing it without the mat and confirm. And now you can see that this preview is that it's all together. Actually, I should check to see what the size is because I didn't do that. All right, so sorry. Here's the other thing. So when you have this highlighted, generally, there we go. So you can see what the size is. So this is going to be 5 inches across and 2 2/3 inches high. So considering this is an 8.5 by 11, that's nice. That's pretty big and will take up a lot of space, which I personally like, without it being overly big. So you do have to pay attention to the dimensions of how big you want the design to be. And you can always also rotate it. So now this is the thing to remember, the Cricut itself, let me pull this over, is only about 6 inches wide. So if the width of your project is more than 6 inches, what you want to do is have it go sideways. Now it looks like in the preview it already did this, but if you wanted to, you could rotate it and have the rotation, so 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, 90 is fine. So but yeah, pay attention to what your size is. So we'll go ahead and again, click on make it. And yes, without mat, confirm. And go ahead and continue. And it's connecting to my Joy. And what I'm going to do, let me see if I can pull this off to the side. And I have this, let me just confirm, wait, where did, oh, there's that. So this is smart vinyl permanent. So I want to make sure that I choose the correct base material because it does want to know what that is. So it knows how much pressure to apply to the cut. And so load tools and material. And then I'm going to go ahead and feed it through. So this is nice is that for these, you can just have it feed all the way through. So I'm going to go ahead and feed it in. There we go. And it's doing a check. And then now I can hit go. Let me see if I can. Now, go ahead and hold this. Yep, so I don't know if you can hear it, but it is cutting. And it's right now cutting the frame. So I'm still cutting the frame, almost done, hopefully. All right, now it's done cutting, and I'm going to hit unload. And there it is. And so we are done. Let me stop sharing, come back, and show you what it looks like on here. I think you can kind of see where the cuts are. And so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and, ooh, interesting. Let's see, trying to figure out where the easiest cut is. So I want to do it along this line. So just take the scissors and, you know, I'm going to cut it from this side because as much as possible, you want to save as much vinyl and be judicious because this stuff can be expensive. And so, all right, so there we go. Better with my right-handedness. And just, they've got grid marks along the back, so it makes it easy to cut. If you wanted to, you could get just like a paper cutter machine. So this is what it looks like on the back. And then on the front, you can kind of see the 2022. And then since I've got this much space left, I'm going to go ahead and see, cut down this line. And so for remnants like the one that I am cutting right now, I can just add those to the mat so that they are, these rolls that are designed for the Joy, I think are designed to like go through fully across. Let me go ahead and lift this up. And so this is not going to quite make it. So I can put this, where did I put the mat? Oh, well, there it is. So I can put it on the mat, and if this is the right size material, it'll just cut. So appreciate that. And I still have all of this, so I'll put that over there. And now we get to picking out the design. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull off the initial part. Sometimes, honestly, sometimes my fingers is all I need. So I'm just pulling it off like this and peel it away and try to be careful. But since this is just around the frame, it's not too bad. It's getting into the frame where it's going to be a little bit more tricky. All right, let's see. All right, so that's the initial cut. And you can see the edges of the frame and the edges of the frame probably. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop that, and then we use this tool, poke at that, and then just start, gotta put my gloves. I did go see the eye doctor last week. I am getting progressives. So they're going to be really cute. So, all right. So I don't know if anybody knows, but these glasses that I'm currently wearing are different from my usual glasses. These are my backup glasses. I couldn't find my basic backup glasses. So the pair that I usually wear, I'm having them put progressive frames into them so that I have a backup for the progressives. The new pair of glasses, what's going to be the main pair, are really cool. They are bright red, and I'm really looking forward to showing them off when I get them. It's probably going to be still another week or so. Let's see, because they told me it was going to be about 2 weeks. So this is where it gets a little picky with all the stuff that you have to pull out. So, and I'm just pulling off. You can see the frame forming, and I'm just putting it on there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this center piece. Let's see, come on. See, and you gotta be careful. I'm trying to do this so that I also don't quite pull off the numbers. So pull this. There we go. And so this is what it looks like. So we're making progress. And then if you wanted to, you could like take this and put this on something. I'm not going to. So again, trash pile. So this is the one thing about the vinyl is that when you're cutting away stuff, you're creating waste. So that is something to think about if that's a concern for you. So let's see, pull this down. There we go. Get this little bit off. So we're making progress with that. This one. And this is helpful because like sometimes with the smaller cuts, like getting in between the little frame, it can be a little frustrating. So it's nice and easy to pick at with this little weeder tool, especially because you see here, there's a little square. I've got to pick out the square from there. So let's see if I can do this on screen with this. I don't think I can. It's a little hard to see a good spot because sometimes the cuts aren't. There we go. So there we got the square pulled away. That's a little thicker end. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and pull this one down. And this little last square on the frame. There we go. Don't know where that flipped to. And then just the center part of the 0, and we'll go ahead and pull that away just like that. And now we have this 2022 in this kind of fun pink vinyl with the frame. So yeah, I really like the look of that. So that one edge just is really thick, but whatever. I have a feeling, so actually you can see how this bar is really thick compared to this bar, which is really thin. And over here, it's actually it's what I expected. I think the cutter didn't quite read the file quite correctly, but it's fine. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try this press and seal for the first time. Like seriously, first time. I just got it the other day. So go ahead and open this. And there we go. All right, so get that open. And let me find the edging on this. There we are. And you can hear, hopefully, how sticky this is. And I don't need a whole lot. Oops, stop sticking to yourself. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. Stop sticking to yourself. I need you to not stick to yourself. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this and ignore that bit, and then press it down onto the design. Let's see if this actually works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's okay. So I'm gonna move that off to the side and take the scraper tool. And what I'm just gonna do, whoops, is just brush it across the design so that it hopefully sticks and picks up the design. So get that. And hopefully it doesn't tear. So I said this is my first time doing the press and seal. So I think it should work. We'll see. Honestly, anything that it will stick to, and maybe not. Let me try with this, see if I'll get it to go with that. So sometimes you do have to help the cut off the page. And let's see. And just, this is a little bit more tricky than I thought it was going to be. So, you know what? I am just going to go ahead and it actually worked for some. All right, so it's sticking well enough. Let's just go ahead and do this. All right, so get this one to be helped up. So as you can see, I didn't practice doing this particular design before, but I've done enough of the other designs that I've got a decent idea, thankfully, of making this work. And come on, baby. Come on, baby. Lift up. I found that, like, depending on the vinyl, sometimes when it's cutting, it is, how to say this, the actual cutting makes it, like, pushes the material into the backing. So it's a little bit more frustrating to deal with. Let's see, there we go. So, all right. So we've got the two. Let's see. Because the main reason you want to do something like the press and seal or the actual transfer tape is so that you can have the design all in one piece. And so it's just coming off, as you can see, like that. And let's see, can we get the 0 to come off? No, that looks like it's kind of, so again, have to encourage it a little bit. Yeah, I think what happened with this is that when it was cutting, the material got pushed into the backing, so it's not coming off as easily as it could. It's also, I'm using the press and seal, which I have not used before, but I am noticing that the backing material is cut into. So, all right, got that two coming off. No, that's the last two. There we go. There you go. All right. So just peel it off slowly. Come on. There we go. So then what you have, transfer tape, or press and seal. And hello, Pat from Alabama. I know another Pat who lives in Alabama, but thank you so much for joining us. So what I'm going to do is now take the cover that I want to put it on and just lay it down rough, not rough. You lay it down where you want it because it's going to be sticky. And so hopefully kind of centered and as even as possible. And so this is what it looks like. And then what I'm going to do is, again, take the scraper tool and rub across it to make sure it is fully set. So make sure it's fully sticking. And just do that a couple times. All right, and then what I'm going to do is peel this away. And we have this. So this is all set to receive my HB90 finished goal planner for 2022. I am really excited about this. And so that is walking you through how to do a project on your Cricut Joy. And so does anyone have any questions on how this worked or what you thought of it? Never thought I always thought if I was going to be a craft channel, I'd be knitting crafts. So let me put my glasses back on. And I'm not seeing any questions. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Oh, wait, here we've got one from Robin. I have a much increased appreciation for the people who do this as a side business or full business. Yes, I do too. Because it's like, honestly, it's fun. But yeah, and it's like, for me, it's a quick project because I have other things that I do that are not quick. But yes, it's a lot of work, and to make it look really nice, because honestly, all right, I'm going to point some things out that I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's a little bubbly in places. So you can kind of see, like, the fact that this is refractable, kind of right there. It's a little bubbly, so it didn't completely set down totally flat. So is this fine for me? It's actually perfect for me. But if I was to sell that would not be something I would want to send out. So Pat, thank you so much. Yes, please look at the replay. I just do a walkthrough of how to use the Cricut Joy because Robin actually she's a friend of mine, and she was asking what do you do with it? So I wanted to walk through a project. And I'm really liking it for doing small stuff like this. So anybody else have any questions? I actually wasn't sure how long this was going to take. And so right now we're at about a little over 45 minutes. So I really appreciate all of you being here for this. Because this is the first time I've tried to do something as well as like doing and here's a side view. But yeah, so I stuck it up so that you can see. Oh, this is the other thing I want to show off. So I got the travel case. This was the other thing I bought. Besides the basic tools, I bought the travel case. So if I wanted to travel somewhere and do projects on the fly with friends, you can do that. That is one of the benefits of the Cricut Joy. And Pat, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate everybody who comes and joins me for these lives and leaves comments. So if you are watching on the replay, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here too. Please leave any comments of future things you would like to see from me. Next up is going to be actual filmed edited video, which I haven't done in a long time, of the new MäksēLife 2023 launch. So look for that next week. Hopefully they're sending out the review packs today, and so hopefully I'll have it by this weekend. But yeah, that's what's next up on the list. But anything else, please feel free to leave a comment. As you can see, I do try to figure out ways of answering what you guys would like to see on this channel. And I thank you all for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day and wonderful week, and may all your dreams be ruby dreams. Bye-bye, and thank you. And I love this. I really, really love this.